Can you believe it? Just like that, we're halfway through 2025. 6 full months have come and gone. That's half a year of choices made, habits formed or forgotten, goals chased or postponed, and lessons hard or soft learned. For some, the time flew by. For others, it's crawled. But for all of us, it's a checkpoint. A moment to pause, breathe, and ask one of the hardest and most important questions we can ask ourselves. Am I becoming the person I said I would be back in January? This isn't about guilt. It's not about shame. It's not about beating yourself up because you didn't do everything perfectly. This is about truth, honest reflection, a moment in the mirror with no filters, no excuses, no fancy lighting, just you and the story you've written so far this year. Maybe you started the year with fire, new goals, new mindset, new planner. Maybe you were that person who said, "This is it. This is my year. No more games." Or maybe you whispered it in your mind, quietly hoping that this year would be different, even if you didn't dare say it out loud. And maybe, just maybe, things didn't go exactly how you pictured. But let me tell you something important. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not done. Because this is halftime. This is the locker room speech. This is the reset. The moment every champion faces in the middle of the fight, where they decide not based on the scoreboard, but on who they are, how the rest of the game will go. See, there's a reason most people lose steam around this time of year. It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they're incapable. It's because they're tired, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, tired of trying, tired of failing, tired of pretending, tired of waiting for the world to get easier. But here's the truth. The world doesn't get easier. You get stronger, you get more focused, you get more disciplined, and that's where the shift happens, not when things feel good, but when they don't. That's when you build the kind of momentum that doesn't care about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Let's be real, most of us don't feel like it most of the time. But that's okay, because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It just asks, will you show up anyway? That's where the magic happens, in the showing up. Not just when it's fun or convenient or trendy, but when it's tough, when it's boring, when no one's clapping, when the world is quiet, and it's just you and your effort. That's where the transformation begins. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need to buy a fancy course or wait for the stars to align. You need to decide, right now, that the second half of 2025 is yours to claim. Let me break it down even more. We've got 6 months left. That's over 180 days. That's more than 4,000 hours. That's 4,000 hours you can either scroll through, sleep through, complain through, or build through. And yes, it will take work. It will take effort. It will take waking up early when you want to stay in bed. It will take doing the workout when your body says no. It will take making the call when you're afraid to hear no. It will take skipping comfort for growth, but it will be worth it. And here's what most people forget. Small efforts compound. Big changes don't come from one huge leap. They come from small, boring, consistent actions. One day at a time, one choice at a time, one yes to discipline at a time. There's a quote I love. It's not from a movie. It's deeper than that. Confucius said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." That's the blueprint. You don't move mountains in a day, but every step matters. Every stone matters. Every moment you choose to stay in the game instead of walking off the field adds up. Now let's talk about your story, your journey, because it matters. You've already come through so much this year. Things people didn't see, things you didn't post, silent battles, private wins, personal losses, and yet you're still here, still standing, still breathing. That means your story isn't over. And no matter how messy the first half felt, the second half is yours to shape. Maybe you didn't hit the goals you set in January. Maybe you gave up on yourself a little. Maybe you let things slide. That's okay. It's human. But the real test isn't whether or not you stumbled. The real test is what you choose to do next. You don't finish strong because everything went your way. You finish strong because you chose to, in spite of what didn't. And honestly, sometimes the strongest decision is just not quitting, just getting up again, just showing up for one more rep, one more call, one more prayer, one more honest attempt to be better than yesterday. That's not weakness, that's strength most people overlook. Now, let me add a little humor here, because life isn't all serious. If your 2025 so far feels like a Netflix show that had a good pilot and then got super weird mid-season, reboot it. Same star, better writing, new director's cut. This time you're not winging it, you're owning it. You're choosing to step back into the role of author and editor of your own life. And yes, it's okay to laugh along the way. You're not a robot. You're not supposed to be perfect. Some days you'll crush it. Other days you'll eat cereal for dinner and call it a victory. Progress is messy, but it's still progress. So let's get clear. What does finishing strong look like? It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming who you always were, underneath the fear and procrastination. It's showing up for your health. It's saying no to distractions. It's turning off Netflix after one episode instead of 5. It's taking care of your mind, your spirit, your finances, your relationships. It's not flashy. It's not viral. It's real, quiet, solid, consistent, and powerful. And here's the best part. When you finish strong, you don't just inspire others. You remind yourself of who you really are, of what you're capable of what happens when you stop waiting and start moving. You build confidence not by thinking better thoughts, but by keeping better promises to yourself. So here we are. The halftime huddle is almost over. The second half is about to begin. You've got the vision. You've got the awareness. Now it's time for action. And I don't care if your first half was a total disaster, because champions are not made by perfect starts. They are made by strong finishes. You want to enter 2026 with your head high? Then decide right now that the rest of this year is yours to command. And every day, every hour, every moment, stack it with effort, not excuses. And when December 31st hits and people are out making new resolutions, you'll already be living yours. Because you didn't coast, you didn't wait. You didn't hope, you finished, you rose, you owned your second half. Now go out there, be the proof, be the spark, be the force. Finish 2025 stronger than you started.